Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we all today? Well, here we are today. It's Saturday, and I think you can probably hear it's just a little bit windy at the moment. The doctor's still here, and his wife is still here. The two doctors are still here. And we're up a little bit early again this morning because we're off to the police station today to do the old biometric, the next step in the biometric card, and we'll let you know how that goes tomorrow. But anyway, looking across to the hills, looking down towards Keri and Amber Lockerbie, and Keri features in my news today, and I'll come on to that later. And it's just looking a little bit windy, a little bit cloudy, a little bit grey. Oh, I've got a feeling we might be in for just a spot of rain, I think, later in the day. Just has that feeling about it. Going around the other side of the house at the moment, just have a quick look there, see how that looks. And, oh, well, the sun is out anyway, or coming out. Again, it's quite warm actually. It's not cold, but it is probably windy, and you're probably hearing the wind at the moment blowing across the mic as I speak to you. But anyway, that's it today. Very quiet today, I've got to be honest. Big shout out to Julie Allen, who's tuning in at the moment, but I'm sure other people will be along to join us as we go on. I've got to admit though, the chickens have been a bit naughty this morning, so I've got that veranda to clear up before we go to the police station this morning. Right, there's been a lot going on in the last 24 hours. There's a lot of news as well. Some of it a little bit. I'll give you the news and I'll clarify some things for you as well, just to make things a bit clearer for you as to what's going on here in Greece. Anyway, the date today, as you're probably aware, 23rd of January. It's a Saturday. It's day 80 of the lockdown for us. Hurrah! Okay. COVID in the last 24 hours is not looking good at the moment. We had 585 new infections recorded across the country. That was up from the day before of 509, taking the total to 151,041, of which 52% are male. There were 7 new infections identified, entries into the country, which was up on the day before, where we had 1, and now it was 7. Anyway, interestingly, at the moment, Zakynthos, 1 new case on Zakynthos. Another case of coronavirus was diagnosed on a 40-year-old man from Zakynthos. The new confirmed case went to the hospital with mild symptoms and tested positive for coronavirus. Now, checks by the authorities will start tracking this man and his contacts. The 40-year-old will remain in home quarantine for the next 14 days or so. Now, local news is calling this the 7th case in Zakynthos in the last 24 hours. Remember, we had a 58-year-old man, a 46-year-old mother, an 18-year-old son. This is, I think, the 8th positive case of coronavirus in 2021 at the moment. So again, some of the reporting is not as good as what it could be with some of the detail. Now, in regards to this, an announcement was issued on Friday afternoon by the Zakynthos Jumbo store that the results of rapid testing of the administrative staff and employees who came into contact with one of their backroom staff who tested positive for the virus after going to the hospital, all the Jumbo staff tested negative. Again, there's no real clear identification as to who the person in the Jumbo was, who the person was, because obviously they have a protection of identity, privacy laws here in Greece with the media. So the only thing that we're getting is the age of the person and not even an actual location of where they're from within the island. But anyway, all the Jumbo staff were rapidly tested. They've all proved negative, and it's again not sure which of the people that were supposedly counted as positive or positively tested. Let's get it into context, although this person did have mild symptoms. Okay, but anyway, we'll keep an eye on the local press and see if there's any more information in regards to local cases on the island. Anyway, At the moment, across Greece, there were 28 new deaths. That is up from the day before, where we had 25. At the moment, there's 5,598 total deaths from the coronavirus since the pandemic started. The average age of those people was 79 years of age, of which 95.4% had underlying health problems or were over the age of 70. Also, interestingly as well, critical cases in hospitals are down at the moment, and they've had a little bit of a drop. They are down to 288 people in ICUs across the country, which was down from 293 the other day. 202 of those are male and 86 are female. Now, the average age of people in ICUs at the moment is 68 years of age. They have underlying health conditions as well, 85% of them, that is, and or are over the age of 70. So that's the cases at the moment for the ICUs. Now, for people thinking about travelling here, the government said yesterday, all passengers entering Greece by air will face a mandatory 7-day quarantine at the residence entered on the passenger's PLF form. Now, remember the PLF forms from the summer? That's basically, you've got to write on there where you're going to be staying. Now, the interesting thing about this now is not only are you expected to stay where you are once you've re-entered the country for 7 days, you also have the danger of being fined. So if you're caught out and about on your 14 days quarantine, you will be fined. The thing is, though, you've got to try and get here first, which is actually proving rather difficult. Anyway, the order, which includes all countries, including EU member states, will be placed until February the 8th, this extra measures going in. And all foreign passengers will also be subject to a COVID-19 rapid test on arrival. Also as well, Greek citizens aged between 80 and 84 will be able from today to schedule appointments for receiving the vaccine against COVID-19 on the government's digital platform or through pharmacies and citizen centres or KEP. Vaccinations for those with appointments will start in 5 days. Now, at the moment, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze there. And somebody's shouting, Rossi's going, you got COVID, mate? No, I haven't got it. Basically, we're still yet waiting the arrival of vaccine here on the island, but you could still obviously register an appointment. That's going to be interesting to see how that works out as well. Now, officials also said on Friday Greece will loosen some of its lockdown restrictions on February the 1st, letting secondary schools reopen for the first time in more than 2 months after signs that the spread of COVID infections has stabilised. Now, Greece has been in lockdown since early November due to the spike of infections and has seen pressure on the public health system with infections receding. It did open primary schools and kindergartens earlier this month, you might remember. Anyway, speaking at a regular press conference, speaking at a regular press briefing on the developments with the pandemic, the Educational Minister, Ginge Coldwell, said the decision came after a unanimous proposal by committees of experts advising the government. Now, the ministers said masks will be compulsory and health authorities will conduct spot tests while breaks with the schedule to avoid overcrowding. So basically, they all won't have a school break during the day all at the same time. However, in regions with a high viral load, which is not us, only junior high schools will open, while senior high schoolers will continue distance learning online, and cramming schools at the moment, they will remain closed, all right? At the same time, the Deputy Minister for Civil Protection, Nikos Harriladis, said overnight the curfew of 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. and the SMS outing permits and the obligatory wearing of face masks at all indoor and outdoor public spaces were extended to Monday, February the 1st. So it looks like we are staying. I have a feeling we're going to stay in lockdown way past February the 1st. They're just trying to kind of easily break it to us. Also as well, something I didn't realise this actually, the maximum number of passengers in taxis now goes up to 2. besides the driver from the current one. I didn't realise only one person was allowed in the taxi all this time going on. However, what's interesting is game hunting and fishing are prohibited for another week, except in the regions of Evros, Rhodope and Exani. And the reason for that, they're allowing hunting to continue there, is because to prevent the spread of African swine fever through hogs. All right, the hogs carry swine fever, and so hunters are allowed to go and shoot them basically as a kind of a control. So yeah, if you live in those areas, you can go back to hunting, but if you live here, well, you've got nothing to shoot here, to be quite honest, you're not allowed to go hunting. Now, interestingly as well, yesterday, it's all COVID, I'm afraid, the news at the moment. A spokesman for the EU said on Friday that the European Commission will seek clarification from Pfizer over delays reported by EU countries for the delivery of COVID-19 next week. Now, Pfizer and the Commission had earlier said that there would be no more slowdowns next week after the supplies were held up this week due to works at the Pfizer plant meant to ramp up production. Anyway, Italy is threatening legal action against Pfizer for the delays. And on Thursday, COVID Special Commissioner Domenica Keri said the country has been told to expect a 20% cut next week after a reduction in this week supply of almost 30%. Anyway, Czech Health Minister Jan Blatný said on Thursday that Pfizer deliveries to his country were falling by about 15% this week and as much as 30% for the following 2 weeks. We will seek clarification, he said, from the company, the EU spokesman told the news conference. The contract with the EU is confidential and each country negotiates different arrangements with Pfizer for deliveries. So anyway, it's not clear whether the US firm has legal obligations to deliver certain amounts of doses on a weekly basis, and some national orders have seem to require or on a quarterly basis. So there you go. It looks like that the supply of the Pfizer vaccine at least is slowing down because they can't make it fast enough. And it also makes you wonder where the priorities are with the company. Are they with the home base, maybe the American market, or are they with Europe, or is it an ad hoc deal? So again, having one company producing the vaccine, although there's 5 companies producing vaccine, no reports of any of the other companies having problems with production. You might remember yesterday said about the fire and in the Indian COVID plant. No more information on that. However, the company that was producing COVID vaccine there said that their COVID vaccine production had not been affected, but would not enlighten anymore. So again, it looks like trying to get the vaccines out is also slowing down at the moment as well. Also, another little bit of local news here, which caught my eye yesterday. Zakynthos Police confirmed yesterday that an abandoned building near Keri, Zakynthos Police discovered 800 kilos of ammonium dynamite. Yeah, 800 kilos. That's an awful lot. Anyway, the seized dynamite had been placed by strangers, it is said in the report, at the spot. An investigation is underway to shed light on where this dynamite came from. The Zakynthos Police Department acted swiftly with the important investigation followed by the seizure of the dangerous materials. That's from their wording. The information is also being sought about the abandoned building and the ownership of the abandoned building near Keri. Now, I do know one of the things that happens here a few times is the blowing up of ATMs. So I'm wondering if that dynamite might be linked to ATMs being blown up for people to get the money out of, which had been going on here for a while. But anyway, we'll keep that little story on mind and see what the police turn up. Anyway, and finally, Greek Prime Minister Mr. Mitsotakis has been causing a bit of a stir, especially after the photographs that were taken of him bare-chested while having his second vaccine shot against COVID-19. Anyway, the Greek Prime Minister received a lot of attention in the press because instead of just rolling his arm up to give his arm for the injection, he decided to take his shirt off and he bared his hairy chest. And it seemed there was quite a swoon from among the ladies And can I say as well, there seemed to be quite a swoon from among a lot of gay men as well, who were quite taken and smitten by the Greek Prime Minister. Anyway, looking at some of the comments that people were leaving on social media, I'm just scrolling down to these comments. It said, while most Greeks complain that being quarantined for months led them to eat more than usual, the Prime Minister seems to have wanted to prove you can stay extraordinarily fit even in these extraordinary times. This is what the local press has said. And one could argue that this is an inappropriate picture for a head of state, because it reminds people of Vladimir Putin, who thinks otherwise, okay? Because you remember him riding on a horse all bare-chested and stuff like that. So Vladimir Putin is actually, I think, a supporter of the picture as well. Bit of a bromance going on there, if you ask me. Anyway, I had to laugh. One Greek woman tweeted, Mitsotakis is bearing a nipple. The season opened, my guys. Mykonos! That's the wording that was written down. And then another person commented, a woman this time contemplated, how can he be on television and trips aboard all the time and exercise at the same time? Is he the same person? A woman commented on Facebook. And somebody else tweeted, a man this time, he eats well, he exercises, he goes to nice trips abroad with all our money, which was tweeted. And another tweet then from somebody, oh my damn, Kyriakos is a Hellenic sexy. I'm flying to Greece immediately, wrote an Englishman on a Twitter page. That was on the Daily Mail, by the way. Anyway, so there you go. It looks like a bit of laughter there in the midst of everything going on. I wonder if Mr. Cassis will keep his shirt on from now on, or will he be doing a Putin? You'll see him swimming in rivers, fighting in karate competitions, and maybe riding a horse around as well, just to prove how manly he is, especially with all the trouble going on with the Turkish at the moment as well. Anyway, just to let you know, Jane and I were off to the police station this morning to do the next phase of our residency permits. We're going to see how that all goes. I'm just going to say a quick hello to a few people online at the moment because I'm trying to rush away. Julie Allen, nice to have you. Alan Woodhouse, nice to see you there. Julie Stevens is watching. Andy Johnson is watching. Alex Spatis is watching as well. Nice to see you, Alex. Nice to have you with us. Also, George from the Obelix restaurant is tuned in as well. Rossi from Rossi's Place is tuning in as well. John Cope is watching. Jane O'Sullivan is watching. Tracy Jones is watching. Brian Wenlock is watching as well. Nice to see you. Rossi says, hi, buddy. You look well, mate. Don't think it's time to put on the nice weather, girl. I think it's nice to put on a nice weather girl. Oh, yes. Oh, you want a nice weather girl on the podcast? Got you, mate. All right. I wasn't quite sure about that. Yeah, Jane won't come on the podcast, unfortunately. But that's a good thing to think about as we expand the channel. We'll have a nice weather girl on. There was a thing about top-looking weather girls in Greece, if I remember, in the Greek media about who were the hottest. I know what Greek media you're watching, Rossi, just by that statement, mate. There you go. Anyway, Paul Armstrong is also watching. Barbara Cocker is watching. David Lowry. Sam Curtis is watching. He says, morning, Ginge. Heather Flynn is watching. Simon Wenlock is watching as well. Nice to see you, Simon. Hope we see you over here in the summer as well. Right. As I said, we're off to the police station this morning to see lovely Mr. Spiro. Hopefully everything's going to be all right, and we'll get our appointment for our fingerprints to be taken. That'll be interesting. Also as well, just to let you know, yesterday was a day of broadcasting yesterday. Like, I was so busy with doing my live show from here that went out at in the afternoon from 5 o'clock till 7 Greek time. Then obviously my Beatz Radio show now that I do to Beatz Radio in the UK, that went out twice yesterday. Once in the morning, which was totally unexpected. I just got a message from Ben saying, Ginge, we're going to put your show on early today to basically make the station feel a bit more alive with with voices and people. So that went out early, so I put this immediately quick message up. Thank you to those people who tuned in. I know Heather and Gary were there tuning in to Beatz Radio yesterday. Also, again, it was played a second time at the time I was initially told. So as soon as I finished broadcasting here, it was like rush across, and the broadcast, which is recorded there, went straight out on Beatz Radio. Once again, at the moment, I'm doing one show with Beatz Radio a week. I will probably increase that to 2. That show that I did yesterday on Beatz is now up on Mixcloud. Also, the show yesterday is up on Mixcloud as well. So there's 2 shows for you to check out. They're both really different between each other as well. Just that one. The one on Beatz is more dancey, a bit more now. The one on my own one on Request and Inspiration is more mellow and with a bit of dance and stuff like that, a bit more. And also reggae as well. So we'll see how that does in the reggae charts. Anyway, I'm going to have to go. Quick message to Ian Durbridge is watching. Rossi says, careful at the cop shop. They don't lock you up, buddy. Hey, listen, won't be the first time, mate. There you go. Martin Holsworth is tuning in as well. Nice to see you there. Marty the Mod, lovely to have you. Sandra Palania is also tuning in as well. Right, listen, going to have to go. I've got to clean the balcony before I go as well. Get all the chicken poo off there. And I will see you again tomorrow. You take care. Have a great day and stay safe. Ta-ra.